Before we start, all this information came from the developer diary on Wednesday, August 24th. I take the information, make it easier to understand and upload it to YouTube so that more people will know what will be in the new DLC. Today's dev diary will not be about modding due to a misplaced carrier pigeon. Instead, it will be about some minor changes coming in the DLC. Quality of life improvements. What changed? Well, I would like to tell more about the DLC, by blood alone. First is armor piercing. Paradox is reworking the binary nature of the piercing versus armor calculation to act in a more realistic way, as well as to make designing your divisions and equipment a little more nuanced. In naval combat, the piercing versus armor mechanic affects the critical hit chance, simulating penetration hits of individual naval guns against a target. Paradox added the following thresholds. These values can of course be modded. Second is the design comparison. The ship, tank, and plane designers now have access to an additional tool when designing equipment. This comparison window allows you to select a variant to compare against the variant you are designing. The comparison variant does not need to have the same equipment type as the one you are designing, and assists in the creation of specialized variants with a frame of reference. The stats comparison markers are displayed in context to the design you are editing. This gives you a tool with which to plan your designs in order to counter your opponent's equipment. Third is the war support. War support has one important new effect. While at war, war support has a scaling negative effect on the stability of a country. War support is now something you will need to care about during a war, and further changes have been made to accentuate this. Infinite war propaganda decisions have now been removed. Instead of war propaganda against countries, war support decisions now target one of the three main maluses. War support can no longer be arbitrarily increased outside of focuses, events, and unique decisions. It must instead be managed. Fourth is the armored trains and logistics strike. The logistics strike air mission was too strong. This has been fixed. Armored trains will once again be vulnerable to damage from logistics strike, albeit at a much reduced rate compared to other varieties of train. Armored trains have now learned to use their anti-air guns. Armored trains will only inflict damage to planes actively attacking them on a logistics strike mission. You will be able to track this explicitly in the Air Region Details menu. Fifth is the AI tank strategy. The AI can now be encouraged to use tank divisions on any particular front line, and Paradox added some generic situation triggers to make this happen more regularly. That's pretty much it for AI tank strategy. Finally is the Allied Logistics. You will now be able to open the Logistics menu for subjects and faction members through the Diplomacy menu. This gives you a better real-time view of your allies' equipment situation, and helps plan a better Lend-Lease strategy. That's all for now. Tune in next time for a second look at how the game will change after By Blood Alone.